Dads, want to turn your commute or coffee break into the most heartwarming 15 minutes of your day? Well, you come to the right place. 15 Minutes with Dad is a podcast celebrating the joys and the challenges of fatherhood. Each episode is packed with expert advice, personal stories, and practical tips. Check out our 4 series, the Fatherhood Podcast, the Healing Series, Fatherhood Speaks, and a Dad's Lighthouse, where we provide mental health insights. Join our community on Discord and Patreon for exclusive chats and support. 15 Minutes with Dad is more than a podcast. It's a movement for stronger families and lasting legacies. Subscribe now or visit 15minuteswithdad.com. Let's build a legacy of dads having a loving presence together.
Hey, what's going on, you guys? My name is Lyric, the creator of 15 Minutes with Dad, a platform where we go all things dadhood and all things co-parenting. If you have not hit us up on any social media, you can find us at 15 Minutes with Dad on Facebook, Instagram, Discord, Patreon, YouTube, and any social media that you can possibly think of except for X. But you can find us on everywhere else. Today, I wanted to give you guys a look inside of my family and the dynamics that take place in our family. I have today a special guest, my guy, Abraham Delgado. I probably shouldn't have put his name out there like that, but we are here. Is a special guest, Abraham, and he will give us his perspective inside of our family. And I'm just interviewing him. He has no idea what the questions are that I'm going to ask him. I just pulled up some questions and I'm going to interview him so that you can learn about him and his perspective of our family. Welcome, Abraham.
Hi.
I am so excited to have you on the show. How do you feel?
I feel very excited, but also nervous.
That's fair. That's fair because there's a lot of people listening to you right now, but it's okay because you can't see them and they can't see you. All right. All right. Tell us about yourself, Abraham. How old are you?
10.
And what do you like to do?
I like to draw and play with my brother, Emmy.
Nice. Yeah, Emmy, he's a really great guy. He's also listening on the other side of this podcast. Hey, Emmy. All right. So I have some questions for you, Abraham, and I wanted to get your perspective. They're questions that's going to make you probably think a little and answer some questions. So don't be afraid to take a couple seconds to think.
Okay.
All right. So my first question to you is, what does family mean to you?
Family means to me like a group of people who love each other.
You said family means to you a group of people that love each other. Okay, that's fair. Okay, and what role do you feel like you play in this family?
What do you mean by roles?
Like role, like some people, like in families, there are people that are like the agitator. There's the people that's like the doofy person, the person that's
Nosy kid.
the nosy kid. That is probably the most direct statement you've made in a year. Now,
Envy.
that's funny because every time there's any conversations going, no matter where Abraham is in the house, he will make us repeat it. He will be in the upstairs in a closet looking for toys, and he'll hear us me and my girlfriend in our closet talking downstairs, and he'll be like, "What is that?" And then we'll have to repeat it because he comes all the way down because he's interested in our facts. So that is definitely a fair statement. Okay, I want to get your perspective on, we're talking about family right now, right? And as our family is blended. And with that, how big did your family grow?
With you and Anne-Marie, I think it grows huge.
And then what else? And we have Amani, who is between all of us, right? Just glued the family together.
Yeah.
Yeah. And how do you feel about that when your family grew?
I felt this was going to be a great family.
Yeah. Do you really enjoy you telling me that because I'm listening to you? Oh, man. Okay. So I got a deeper question for you. What do you feel is unique or special about you and my relationship?
with you and I.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like the way we bond is like unique.
Yeah. In what ways do you feel like it's unique? Or what makes it special to you?
But just you don't have much time, you have work to do. But like when we finally get time to bond, I feel like that's really special.
Yeah. I think it's special to me as well. Do you feel like when we're bonding, that I'm present or not?
You're present a lot.
Okay, so can you share some of your favorite memories since our families have joined together?
When we went to caves, when we went fishing,
Mm-hmm.
camping, and when we went to that amusement park with the wooden roller coaster.
In Houston?
Yes.
Yeah. So like the trips and things like that, making memories. Okay, that's great. I'm glad that those memories stuck with you. I think something that was important to me when we joined families is that I somehow do a different job than I've done in my past, because I've been with other relationships with women that had kids. And I don't think that I did a great job during those times, because I looked at myself different, my role that I played in a family differently then than I do now. And so making memories has been a very important part of how I engage with you guys. And I think that your mom helped me realize that, because she wanted to make memories, because family is really important to her as well, right? Okay, so my next question is, this is a little bit more intense, okay? So how did you feel when you first found out that your mom and your dad were getting divorced?
I felt pretty sad
Yeah, why?
because I love my dad and I wanted them to be together, but they were like getting mad at each other.
And how do you feel now?
I feel like, what do you mean by now?
Like, how do you feel now that they are divorced? That's how you felt before, but now that they are, how do you feel?
I still feel pretty sad. I still feel pretty sad about it, but I'm like glad of the outcome.
You glad of the outcome? What makes the outcome special or better than what you
Like,
thought?
You been a great stepdad in Mariah. Then there's the cute little Amani.
Yeah, he's a little adorable. Yeah, I appreciate that. I'm glad I could make a difference in the outcome of that. Have you learned any valuable lessons, or what valuable lessons have you learned about family so far?
I should hide and not scream, push anybody. Like, try to get under control with my feelings.
Yeah, I think that's a great point. Emotional stability or emotional awareness, emotional stability, like being able to be control of your emotions in moments of frustrations, is very important as a growing young man. And just so you know, your brother is going to test you until the end of time. I have my little brother. I have 4 little brothers, and there's one that literally tests me consistently all the time. And he's literally a year younger than me, and he's still just he knows how to irritate me within seconds.
Yeah.
And I'll just blow up on him. But we're bigger and he can take me beating him up, but it's all still love and knowing there's going to be that forever, right? It's never going to be like, hey, it's peaceful because he's your little brother. His job is literally to irritate you. Amy?
Yes.
So, Paula, my next question is, you are smack dab in the middle of ages, right? I know things could be hard because we have 2 toddlers. We have a 4-year-old exiting toddler stage. We have a new toddler, Amani, and then we have you, and then we have a 16-year-old, and the 16-year-old requires a lot of attention. The baby requires a lot of attention, and the toddler screams for attention all the time. How does that make you feel being 10 years old and independent for the most part?
I feel like I feel like I also need attention too, but I don't get enough.
That's fair. And I know that it's something that your mom and I have been trying to work on and focus, but with the time that we have in the day, sometimes it's difficult, but we have a plan in place. Our goal, we talked about it earlier this year before we moved into our new home, that we would try to do some one-on-one times with you guys, each of you separately. And with you telling me that, just reminded me and say, hey, put some more effort into spending those one-on-ones so that you can get some one-on-one time and you could feel the love and attention that you want to feel.
Mm.
Okay. You've experienced a lot of change over the last 3 years, right?
Yes.
What was the most challenging thing that you feel like you had to experience?
The most challenging thing, I feel like moving.
Moving? Moving from where? No, moving from your first place to that one apartment, from that one apartment to our apartment.
And then
And
to where we are.
Yeah.
Because I lost a lot of friends back there.
Yeah. You lost a lot of friends back there. Yeah. Do you have friends? Do you make any friends now?
Yes.
Was it difficult to make more friends? As soon as you moved to the new school, you got like eons more friends. It was weird. Bro came back with a birthday party and had 15 kids here. And he only been at the school for a couple months. It was crazy.
Mhm.
But yeah, how do you feel now about that? All of the moving stuff?
I feel like next time we move, I feel like I'm going to be ready for that.
Guess what? We're not going to have to move because we basically bought this house. We're in this thing. Okay. So we're stuck. We're like got a lot of solidness going here. All right. So I think that how do you feel about me as a person? If you were to describe me, how would you describe me? It could be good. It could be bad. Doesn't matter.
I feel like you are like kind, but also strict.
Mm-hmm.
You like are smart. You're like you give out life lessons in a smart way. For sometimes.
Okay. Anything else? That's it. Strict, smart, kind. I guess that's the little middle ground I'm always trying to hang out in. I think everything that I am is about teaching lessons, which I'm trying to do a better job of delivering lessons in the right time, because I'm always like ready to give a lesson, right? But I think that there's a lot that I teach you that I didn't get taught when I was your age because I didn't have a father in my life. And so maybe I overdo it sometimes. And I'll try to be mindful of giving you the opportunity to learn your lessons without me being the one to tell you for sometimes. But for sometimes you'll hear me talk and give you a lesson and make it make sense for you.
Mm-hmm.
Can I tell you what I think about you?
What?
You ready?
Yes.
Drum roll. That's a drum beat, but it's cool. It started drum roll. But so that is what I would say is, Abraham, I believe that you and feel like you are a very growth-minded young man. I think that you have so much potential to be great in your life. I think I'm so happy to be your stepdad, and I'm so proud of all of the resilience, which means like you were being flexible and like understanding in times where things were challenging and being comforting to me. You're a solid rock for our family, and you emulate very great qualities as a person. You're nice, you're kind, and you try to show love to everybody and even if there are people being mean to other people, you are brave and courageous, and you'll stand up for those people. And that makes me proud.
Thanks.
You're welcome. Was this podcast as hard as you thought it was going to be?
A little harder.
Yeah, the questions were a little difficult.
Mm.
He wasn't ready to dive deep into your
Yeah.
this early in the morning. It's okay. Are you thinking a lot right now? What are you thinking about?
I'm thinking about life right now.
Yeah. What comes to mind? What's the first thing that comes to mind?
But why did this have to happen to me?
Yeah. Which part?
Why did they get divorced? Why is the outcome well? Stuff like that.
I can tell you that there's a lot about divorce that is very confusing to people or kids. Very confusing. And I'll tell you what, those are questions. If you have questions that you can ask us, your mom, you start with your mom because it's her situation, but you can also include me at moments where you want me to explain it in a way that you understand if you misunderstand. Divorce is a very tough situation, and it not only impacts the parents or the adults, but it impacts the kids greatly because everything about family, you understand, right? You like, family will never separate. This is who I wake up to. This is who I go to sleep to. This is my stability. And what happens is when that divorce happens, it makes you feel unstable and rocky and confused about what is life and why did it happen to you. But I'll tell you one thing. It wasn't something that intentionally happened to you, but I can tell you that it was a decision made so that you can have a better future than you would have had in that situation. Sometimes adults find it more better to separate because of the happiness that they can provide to themselves and to their loved ones. So here's the thing. Let's take into account that your mom stayed into that situation with your dad and they were not in the place to love each other in the right way, talk through things, communicate and make up and make things better. They were together for 10 years and your mom and your dad tried to make things work and they didn't, right? So 10 years, it didn't go right. Imagine if they stayed for 10 more years. How happy would they be?
With that, I don't think they would be happy.
And if an adult doesn't have happiness inside them, how can they provide it to their children?
And they have to find a different guy to feel happy, to feel safe.
All of that, right? And it's not necessarily the different guy that makes them feel safe, but it's more so like a different situation entirely. There had to be a change in life in order for her to be happy, in order for your dad to find happiness. And sometimes it's with different people.
Which,
So I would say that over time, I hope that you understand that it was a decision made ahead of time to make your future better. Do you think that with your mom constantly fighting and arguing with your dad that you would come out happy, you would be happy
no.
or able to be happy?
Oh, the only time I would be happy is like when I'm being with my friends, but when I come home, they're always fighting, not getting along.
And I grew up in that environment, and I can tell you it's not healthy. It's not good for the kids to grow up in. It's hard for them to find happiness and joy if they come home to a very crazy home. So that's why the divorce happened, as a means to create a better potential future for you and a potential future for your mom to find happiness and you to find happiness. Do you feel like you are happy?
Yes.
You are?
Mm-hmm.
So in a way, the divorce helped you. How do you feel? Do you understand a little bit?
Yes.
And I know that this is not enough. You'll probably need to talk about it a little bit more and have more conversations about it. Have more conversations about it, but don't be afraid to bring that conversation up with your mom Because as you get older, you'll understand, you'll have different and more in-depth questions about it. When you were younger, you were like, Mom, but why are we leaving Daddy? Right now, you're like, hey, why did this divorce happen? And now you're like, why did this divorce happen to me? Why did this divorce happen to me? And so as you get older, you'll have different questions, and it's okay to continuously ask that until you get to an age where, at the point where I have to tell Mariah, hey, me and your mom didn't work out, well, not only because we weren't compatible, because I cheated on it. And so, not your mom, but us. And so I can give her that information because she's 16 and she understands the concept of that. So, moving forward, don't be afraid to ask those questions, okay?
You got it?
All right. Now that you've been on an episode of 15 Minutes with Dad, would you ever come back?
Yes.
Yeah?
If I had a chance.
You had a chance, okay. Did you enjoy it?
Yes.
All right, I'm not going to drill you anymore with any more crazy questions, but I want to get your input, and I think our listeners would like to know that as well, because we have a blended family, and blended families are more difficult than families that are born together. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
A lot more difficult because, one, kids have to learn how to open up their hearts to other people as parental figures, right? And I think for me, it was a challenge when we first got into our family together, because I was like, you were 7, right? And I was like, how could I get this kid to love me? And how could I love this kid? Emmy was 1. He was like a wee baby. But you've been 7 years with a different dad. And I wanted to be clear that I'm not taking your dad's place, but I'm just giving you more dad love. Different dad love. How does that make you feel?
Feel about what?
Having more dads. Having more than one dad.
I feel confused.
Why?
Like, how could you have more than one dad?
There's the plus dad. That's why I'm a plus dad. Your dad plus 1. And I'm your plus dad to give you extra dad support whenever you need it. If anything that your other dad is not giving, I'm here to fill in the blanks. But I'm not here to take his place.
Okay.
I'm here to fill in the blanks.
Got it.
Yeah. All right. That is another episode of 15 Minutes with Dad. Thank you all for joining us. If you have not, and if you like this episode and you find this episode helpful for your children or somebody else in your family that's a dad, please make sure you share this audio to someone and go give us a comment. You can send us fan mail through our Spotify or Apple Podcasts. You can connect with us on any social media platform at 15 Minutes with Dad. And if you have not, do that. All right?
And don't forget to subscribe on YouTube.
Yeah, don't forget to subscribe on YouTube. You have anything else you want to tell? Any lessons you want to give to people before we go?
No, thank you.
No, thank you. Okay. All right. Thank you. Love, peace, and chicken grease, y'all. Y'all take care.
Mhm.
And just like that, we've hit an end of another epic journey here at 15 Minutes with Dad. I'm your host, Lyric, and I am thrilled to have shared this time with you. But guess what? The conversation is far from over. Want to dive deeper into the Dadverse? Check out our website at 15minuteswithdad.com and join our vibrant community on Instagram, Discord, and TikTok for your daily dose of dad inspiration, camaraderie. And here's something special. Subscribe to our newsletter at 15minuteswithdad.com for exclusive goodies and behind-the-scene peeks you won't find anywhere else. Got a burning question or a dad moment that made you proud? We're all ears. Submit your questions and share those special moments with us for a chance to be featured and shout out on our show. It's your time to shine in our dad community, so tap in with our Discord, and our server is at 15 Minutes with Dad. So tap in for that, engage with the community, and you will be featured on our show. Each week we would do another feature, so join in. Love today's episode. Spread the love by sharing it with a friend and leaving us a review. Let's get the word out and grow our awesome dad family, because guess what? When you give us a review and you rate our podcast, you give everybody the chance to enjoy what you've enjoyed about this podcast as well. So mark your calendars, because new episodes drop every Thursday of the week. Ready for more heartwarming stories, laughs, and dad wisdom? We can't wait to have you back. But until next time, keep being the amazing dad you are. Every day is a new adventure and every moment is special. Catch you on the next episode. Love, peace, and chicken grease.